Hey, welcome to the Kinda Sleepy Podcast. I'm one part of your host and crew Knowledge. To my right, who do I got?
Y'all already know who it is. It's your boy Tenaro Reed, a.k.a. Natty Bad Tattoo Dreadlock, owner, operator of Slaughterhouse Tattoos, a.k.a. Mr. Helping You Look Better Naked. And I got a new a.k.a.
Oh, Lord.
It's your boy Curve Gotti.
You got to tell this story.
I'm telling you, I'm curving them all summer 18. Man, it was crazy. I'm at the gym, right? I ran into a young lady that I had past relations with. It was been years ago. It was years ago. You know what I mean? So she was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, how you doing? I mean, nice to see you." She's like, "Oh, you must be booed up. I haven't seen you in a while." I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm chilling, you know what I mean? Getting to the bag, taking care of family,
right.
Doing what I do. So Shorty hit me with the, that's what's up. But what's up with that dick, though?
Dope dick.
Wow.
What's up with that dick, though?
Hit him with that dope dick.
How did you feel? How did that make you feel on the inside?
I mean, I already knew, man. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? I'm a Gemini.
6 o'clock? She wanted that wake.
It's early.
She wanted that wake. She wanted that wake and shake.
Right. I mean, that cooter still marinating from last night.
She wasn't looking for the salmon dick.
Right.
She wasn't.
She ain't want no salmon.
No.
So I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm sarcastic as hell. So I was like, it itch from time to time, but I got some cream for it, so it'll be all right. Shorty looked at me. She was like, you know what? You fucking asshole. But my point is, carry your ass on. It's too early for that shit. But I'm curving them all 2018, all summer 18. Because women say they don't want no friendly ass man. They don't want no, hey, how you doing to everybody ass nigga.
You're right.
So that's why I'm curving.
Good job.
Hey,
Proud of you.
I'm proud of myself.
Way to go.
It must be the cleanse.
It's the cleanse. Got to cleanse all
I
of
can
it.
see clearly now.
There you go.
Curve got it.
I like Curve got it.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to have to sit next to Natty so I can learn not to be your friendly ass man.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right. Well.
Did we have feedback?
So to my left.
The mic is bad reception.
So to my left, tell me who we got to the left over here.
Miss EP in the building.
The voice of reason.
Voice of reason. I try to be.
Yeah, and you're back.
I'm back.
Welcome back. So glad to have you back.
Thanks.
We
Glad
missed
to be
you.
here.
The audience missed you.
Really?
Your seat missed you.
Okay.
The mic missed you.
This sounds personal. I think we need to stop before it keep.
And y'all hear a fourth voice in here, and y'all have heard this voice before, and hopefully you hear this voice a lot more on her own show soon, right?
Yeah. It's your girl Jersey. The giggles.
The giggles.
The giggles. I like it.
You ain't had a lot to giggle about this week.
Yeah, but you know what?
We
God
gonna
is
keep it
good,
moving.
and we're going to keep it moving.
We're going to keep it moving. Amen. Amen. I'm glad to have you here. Happy you're here. Happy you're smiling. Happy you're giggling. And we're going to keep on getting you giggling because we're going to start off with our favorite segment of the show, WTF, White Tomfoolery and Foolishness. Griffin, Georgia. Has anybody been to Griffin, Georgia?
I might have passed through it.
yeah.
I don't recall being
I don't
there.
even remember what Griffin, Georgia is. Is that? I don't know if it's on 20 or 85 or 75 or 285 or something like that. But I feel like I've seen it before.
I think I have, too. I think that was it was on a Prohibition run or something. That shit sound like it's backwoods like hell.
I'm trying to tell you. They still got the Underground Railroad there.
They still drive Model T cars.
We don't know where it is because it's one of those places they tell black people not to
It's
go.
a sundown town.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm
So-
guessing.
Oh, that's
Check
like
this out.
Chester.
Right?
I did not know that about Chester, South Carolina. I knew that about Coleman, Alabama.
Yes.
They used to have a sign there.
Yeah. Really?
They used to have a sign that said, "Don't let the sun catch your black ass in Coleman."
Wow.
That was a real sign.
Thank God I grew up north. All right.
Hey, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Y'all just a lot more sneaky with your racism, except in Boston.
They know better though. It's sneaky, but you also know better.
Yeah, well, they know better down there, too. We whoop ass. Anyway, that's another story. So, a former elected official from Griffin, Georgia, decided to use the N-word as they declared April Confederate History Month. So, Larry Johnson, God, this is terrible. Larry Johnson, he used to be a former member of, the city commission board in Griffin, Georgia, and he began reminiscing about how he grew up. And there's a black guy who was one of 2 black officials that are currently on the county commission, and he turns to the black guy and he says, "I told you at that time there were white folks and there were black folks when I was growing up. There was white trash, my family, and there was Nigger Town. Wow. I lived next to Nigger Town." Wow. He says this while looking at one of the 2 black people.
I wish y'all could see my face right now.
Can you say
it? So wait a minute. The black dude he's talking to said, "You live next to what town?" Now, when a black man over the age of 45 asks you to repeat yourself, it's in your best interest to do one of 2 things: run or call the police. Yeah. Luckily, he was in a place where there was heavy security. So the white dude says back to him, Mr. Johnson says back to Mr. McCord, "Nigger Town, son. I'm telling you, son."
Oh, wow. And
now that changed. I'm no longer white trash.
Jesus.
The black dude says, "Hold on a second." Now here's where it gets crazy. The guy who's the head of the commission is a white guy. He stops the black guy from checking this dude and says, "Mr. McCord, please let him get to the point so we can move on." This black man wasn't having it. He said, "He can get to his point, but I'm not going to sit here. Maybe y'all are comfortable with it. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and let this man use that type of language. And if nobody else is offended, then I am. Now, if y'all want to clap and think that that's okay for this gentleman to stand in 2018 and get here at this Board of City Commission meeting 2018, the Civil War is over and he is using the N-word not once, not twice, 3 times, and he just continues to say it with not one word about who it offends." They asked him to refrain from using the racial slur, and this is how the white dude ended his whole thing. "My skin is white, my neck is red. I was born in Southern bed. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. I hope that doesn't offend anybody."
Jesus Christ.
Man, if you don't get your ass on somewhere,
I ought to whoop the shit out of Colonel Sanders. Man, for real, man.
I hate to say it, but he should have slapped the taste out of his mouth.
Yeah, man, get to a point,
Whoop
man.
the whole chicken leg out his ass.
I mean, how you just keep antagonizing?
And then you say, "Nigger Town, son." I'm trying to. You call me son. That's, to me, when you say it to me like that, when I'm obviously offended, that's the equivalent of calling me boy.
Pretty much.
Because we're not in Nigger Town.
Yeah. What you like to say from a 40-year-old virgin? You want to see
nigga
here now. You know what I'm saying? You want to take it back to Nigger Town? Huh? That's what you want to see. That's what you want to happen right here. Let's turn this into Nigger Town. You know what I'm saying?
Question.
What's that?
So in 2018, what's the criteria in regards to the N-word and ass whoopings? Is it an automatic, like, one-time N-word? 2 times? The tone?
Hold on. Let's hold that question to another one another story we got later on down the road. Yeah, let's hold that story right quick.
There's so much. There's just so much
let's
feeling
hold that
behind
story
it.
right quick.
Yeah.
Y'all about to have me abandon my cleanse.
So let's move on to a very tragic story of Devontae Hart, 15-year-old Devontae Hart. He went viral for hugging a police officer during the Ferguson protests over Mike Brown in 2014.
I remember that picture.
It became interesting because once you started doing the background on his adopted parents, it was him, his 16-year-old sister, and his 12-year-old sister. And they were adopted by 2 white women, Jennifer and Sarah Hart. And these women also adopted 3 other young minority children. And apparently, they loaded everybody up in the van and drove off a cliff. Now, what makes this interesting is that, these people were, the women that adopted them, they were kind of performative white allies. They used to take the kids to protests and they was like the All Lives Matter family, and they kept adopting, minority kids.
So wait, were they lesbians?
I'm trying to understand.
I thought so,
think
but I could be wrong.
I don't
Okay.
want to just put that on them, but I think so. All signs point to yes.
Okay, all right. I was just saying.
I mean, because they were calling them parents, so
Okay,
yeah, the
gotcha.
media called them parents.
Okay.
So all signs point to yes on that.
I don't
This is
understand.
I don't get it.
I don't
Yeah,
understand.
that one's a little heavy for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so rest in peace to that kid. I mean, he never had, a chance to actually grow up and see his life, and to go from, being a powerful symbol of protest to being a martyr at the same time.
Right.
It's sick and sad. And so, just want to say rest in peace to him. But what bothered me the most was that there was a pending open social services case.
That's what I was about to ask.
Up against those women?
Yeah.
Wow.
There was a social services case. Apparently, they had not been feeding the kids consistently.
Oh, Jesus. It's always
And I think it was something about, one of them wasn't, being bathed properly or something like I'm not sure. Yeah, there's a lot of think pieces on it. And I don't really want to get too heavy into that because that's a real heavy story.
I feel like
man.
everybody in this world is going crazy.
The entire world is losing its mind.
Seriously.
They need a cleanse.
I'm not going to laugh at you right now. I don't like
Speaking of people who done lost their mind, we got to get some good news going on. Stacey Dash has withdrawn from her congressional race.
Hallelujah.
Yes,
Father, yes.
hallelujah.
Shout.
The Lord answers
Stacey,
prayer.
dash your ass the fuck away from here. I'm sorry.
No. Tell us how you really feel.
I'm just saying, man.
Listen, throw the whole woman away. Just throw her away.
No, let me tell you what's crazy though. So I'm watching Stacey Dash tap dance and shuffle and get her coon on, and Dame Dash just released a new movie not too long ago, Honor Up, and I watched it. It's actually a pretty good flick. It's not a bad flick. The story, it's a hood story. It's got a couple plot twists here and there, but it's a dope little story. And to see Stacey Dash in there playing an around the way girl like she used to do so very well.
Wait a minute, she actually was in there? Because
She's
I
actually
thought
in the
that
movie.
they weren't getting along anymore.
She has a very small part in the movie.
I guess she needed that check.
She's in the movie for like probably 90 seconds total.
She needed a check. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's
The Cardinal would do.
and so there's a scene in the movie where one of the main characters, he's trying to get with her or whatever, and he says, I'm gonna ask you a question. It's like, are you honorable? And she looks at him. I noticed that she never actually answered the question in the movie, and it made me laugh so hard. She said, you shouldn't even have to ask that.
You're not.
At which point, everything in my soul said, "Really, bitch?" Like that's your response.
Right.
Just
Yeah,
man.
she is
She
just
probably ad-libbed her line.
throw her away.
Yeah.
Just throw her away.
And so she was trying to say honor up, trying to say it in her around the way girl voice, and I was just like, man, if you don't sit your entire Fox Newsian ass down somewhere, who knew Clueless was a biopic? Like I
She's
had
so
no.
lost.
Oh my God.
She is in a sunken place, but we don't want her back. Throw dirt on her.
Speaking of sunken place, did y'all hear that Kris Jenner is now managing Kanye and Travis Scott?
Listen, once they get with that family, they all lose their minds. And hey, welcome to the clan.
Like I really,
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
not that clan.
I didn't mean that clan, but
Not that
I meant the
clan.
Jenner clan. Well, Kardashian clan. My bad.
But that makes me think that Get Out is a real life, a real story, like based on a true story.
Get out that coochie. Stop sleeping with them girls. You're gonna go crazy. You're gonna go crazy.
Think about it though.
Get out that box. That ain't that good
I'm
box.
trying to tell you.
That's voodoo box.
Yeah, that's the different box.
That's the reverse Badu box.
Something. Yeah, it's horrible.
Because like the thing is, like that Badu box. We talked about Badu box last time.
That's vampire vagina.
Yeah. Suck the life out you.
I'm trying to
You
tell
see
you.
Kanye
Walking Dead.
You see Kanye walking around here with Bart Simpson hair now and stuff. He went crazy.
I'm trying to
They
tell
all
you.
just
Okay, so let me
losing.
tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to a Kanye concert, and the moment he take his shades off, I'm gonna have a big flash and see if he react like the dude and Get Out.
Listen, Charlamagne the God said it. He said somebody need to flash him a whole bunch of times. Bring him back.
I'm trying. Hey,
Yeah, Kanye ain't lost his damn mind. All the way.
his entire black ass mind. Speaking of people that didn't lost their black ass mind, the Browns decided to sign RG3.
I don't understand. Why, why get paper legs?
Like I
Why?
said on the page, RG3's knees are made from chicken nugget crumbs and the red ring around a slice of
It's
bologna.
paper legs. Like, they just gonna rip and tear.
His legs made from the same stuff that Derrick Rose and Greg Oden knees made from.
Hello? I would have picked up Kaepernick before I'd have picked him up. But, it's politics and,
Think about it, though. Let's look at it like this. So, Kaepernick had more success in the NFL than Tim Tebow.
Big time.
Yet, because Tim Tebow is football Jesus to some people, his athletic career has extended. So, as I was driving over here, I look on my news feed, and I see that Tim Tebow, in his first pitch in AA ball, hits a home run. I'm like, how is he still getting jobs? Like, who is hiring Tim Tebow to do, hit?
He is a praying man. He is a praying man.
Jesus did
White
it.
Jesus did that one.
Yeah,
White Jesus did that one.
Yeah, he with a good temp agency. Yeah,
He is
They
a
keep-
praying man.
they keep jobs on deck.
Used to.
Yeah.
He with janky promoters.
Jelly Roll Entertainment.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just,
What was that the entertainment company, the promoters on In Living Color? Funky Finger Productions.
Oh my gosh.
I'll tell you.
How do I remember stuff like this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I told you.
You're a little different. You're a little different. Moving on.
Fuck y'all. So Fabulous. FABOLO.
So
US.
disappointed with
BS.
him.
BS?
Yeah.
He punched Emily in the mouth, knocked out 2 of her teeth.
Let's talk about it. 7 times. She had to have her teeth removed.
7 times.
And then threatened her father and her brother, talking about he
I
got
saw
a
that
bullet with
video.
their name on it, and
I
he had a
saw
knife
that
in his
video.
hand. Like, how far can you go? That's the mother of your children. Like,
But
this
7 times.
7 times.
You got to be weak as shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, your right has to be real weak. 7 times.
7 times.
And she still standing?
Yeah.
Man, look, I remember when my daughter was a year old. You know them little hard little baby shoes?
Mm-hmm.
You know the babies be kicking their legs.
Mm-hmm.
And my daddy was holding my baby. Now, my daddy's a grown-ass man. Of course, he's my daddy. But he was holding the baby, and she kicked her little legs and caught my daddy in the chin and almost knocked his ass out. You had to punch her 7 times? 7 times, Fabulous.
Here's my thing. After the first one, first of all, the first punch was too many.
No,
Okay,
yeah, that's- I mean,
anytime you hit a woman,
anytime you gotta ball
one
your
punch
fist
is
up.
one punch too many.
Come
Yeah.
on, man.
But the thing is, he hit her 7 times. He knocked her teeth out. I thought that was ridiculous and excessive. And but like you said, she either got a real strong face or he got a real weak right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But I ain't gonna lie, I was thoroughly disappointed.
I'm disgusted with him. But
Yeah,
you know
just-
what? I will have to say this from a woman's standpoint, because I remember like me and my friends talking about this before. Listen, the signs have been there for a long time.
Yeah.
He never claimed that woman in public. He won't take pictures with her in public. He only takes pictures with his children. Whenever she went somewhere or started getting a little popularity, he pulled the plug on it. He just seems like real Ike Turner-ish. Like, it's in him. It's in him strong.
So I'm looking at a news media source here, and it says that Fabulous got upset after he found out via Instagram that she was in L.A. at the same time he was. And when he returned home from Los Angeles, he punched her in the face.
Let's back up. Remember, he texted her before he even got home, telling her he wanted to
Hit
kill her, hit her
I
in
ain't
the
got
head
there
with a
yet.
bat.
I ain't got there yet. He said that he said he wanted to hit her in the head with a baseball bat, and then he would kill her, but he didn't want to go out like that.
Yeah.
So I know this is not a funny situation, but think about it, man. Them some bars that you put in the text message, though.
Shut up. We're not gonna make a joke out of this. Moving on.
My bad. I'm just saying that just rhymed. Like, isn't that coincidental to y'all? I'm just saying.
Moving forward.
Next.
Thugger, Louisville
I'm just
slugger.
saying.
Hit
So-
you with a bat, ain't going out like that.
Hey.
Y'all ain't shit.
I'm gonna start texting all y'all with some bars from now on, just because of that. Bars.
That was a mess.
Do we
up.
supposed to be in love part 2?
Right.
All right. So what we're not gonna do right now is have Kevin Gates moments up in here, because you know. Man, I feel so guilty for liking that song by Gates, man. That nigga said, because thing is, like, you vibing to the beat, and then you hear that nigga say, beat a bitch like Chris Brown, go back to jail, no questions. No.
No.
Y'all just made the whole song. Y'all just made part 2.
No, that was just the hook.
No, that was,
Thugger.
See,
Okay,
yeah.
so let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
So another part of the story is that he had 2 firearms in the house.
Yeah.
And she called her father and brother over there to
To come
remove
clean
the
'em out,
firearms
yeah.
from the house. And that's why he got pissed off with the dad and was threatening him with the knife and all that. But he ain't had that same energy with the dad as he had with Emily.
Of course not,
because
because he had security there and he had a knife in his hand. Most men that put their hands on women are bitches. They do cowardice acts when other people are not around to stop it from happening. Let's talk about it.
So my homegirl from way back, well, not really from way back when.
No.
They get slapped by Ray J.
He did.
Ray J did put hands
no,
on
he
him,
didn't. No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. Ray J did slap
No,
him.
he didn't.
That was
I remember that video.
Jadakiss confirmed what happened.
He
And
didn't
in the
actually
locks.
make contact.
He didn't
or
make
anything,
contact.
though. I remember the video.
Yeah, the only reason why I say that is because like the locks are street dudes. They ain't on the
if
locks.
Jada said
and
it,
if Jada said it and
it's
if
in the
Styles
Bible.
said it, then it's honest.
That's gospel. That's
Yeah.
gospel.
Yeah.
So I had a homegirl who said, weak dudes like that, they only put their hands on babies and bitches. Because the only people they ever want to fight are kids and women. But I you know what? I never really paid attention to Fabulous in his relationship with any woman. So I guess I never would have seen the signs of anything like that. So, it's a tragic situation. Hopefully Emily, gets out of that. But, the reality of it is, let's be perfectly honest, she's probably not going to go anywhere.
I mean, after this incident, though, you have to wonder because now they've both been publicly embarrassed. This is going pretty far. And in New Jersey, listen, he's facing serious charges. He's facing up to 10 years in jail. You can't get out of that. It's a little different up north.
I've seen women take whole entire public ass whoopings.
Oh, I'm pretty
And
sure
still
this.
stay.
I'm pretty sure this was not her first occurrence with him. This isn't a first occurrence.
You don't get up to 7 punches in the face.
Yeah,
without at least it being a
get it.
backhand at some point prior to that.
Exactly.
'Cause that's excessive in any way, shape, any way you cut it.
The only problem I think that's going to happen here is that because it's now public, right, and because it's seriously public in New Jersey, child services and everybody else is going to be stepping into
She
this.
can't save them.
Yep, she can't save them. So, and then if you try to save them or stay with them, guess what's going to happen?
You're going to lose your
You're going
kids.
to lose your children.
The red flag for me was the fact that she called someone over to take the guns out of the house.
Hello.
Instead of leaving.
Exactly.
Like he texted you on the way home.
I'm going to kill you.
You knew the ass whooping was coming.
Right.
And you said, can y'all come take the guns out of the house? So that means you were okay. You were prepared
Shit,
for what was going to happen.
clipping
You
up
just
on
didn't
his
want to
ass.
die.
Yeah.
He's been clipping up on his ass.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you said, now that you just don't wake up in the morning and get to throwing 7 punch combos on your woman. You know
that's
what I mean?
real.
I mean, you wake up in the morning and say, you know what? I want to do a cleanse.
God
Damn
damn it,
plans.
Natty.
Jesus.
So, what y'all think about Sanaa Lathan biting Beyonce in the face? Let's just go on and change the whole
I
damn
just want to
subject.
know
I have
this
a
shit
theory.
liquor.
I think it was
first.
all taken out of context.
Can you hold on 1 second?
Probably.
Yes.
Before we get there, what do you think Beyonce tastes like?
Beyonce probably tastes like
Honey and lemonade.
She tastes like you remember when they had those little the little waffles with the fried chicken on the inside at churches?
Nigga, I do not remember
You
that. Wait a
cannot
minute.
compare Beyonce to some shit from churches.
Well, look here. You must not had the little waffle with the fried chicken on the inside
No,
with the honey drizzle
Wait,
on it.
I really
I bet it
have-
was good,
I
though.
feel violated in life. Like,
Yeah,
why have
I missed
not
all
had
that.
this? Like, that's a whole era that
But
I
I do
missed.
currently want a piece of church chicken.
I'm trying to tell you.
I think Beyonce looks like she tastes like honey and lemonade. Like
I
the
agree.
perfect mixture.
I feel like Beyonce, Michelle Obama, and Jill Scott all taste like brown sugar,
That was a very
Cocoa.
weird combo.
Yeah.
glory,
I don't really like
and
that
just
combo.
success.
I don't really like that combo you just gave
Do
us.
you know those women are
Like you almost included
absolute-
Oprah.
Yeah, like that was a little
Okay,
weird.
so I was
like
not
what's
gonna
happening
include
with
Oprah.
that?
Okay,
I don't
Oprah.
know.
Not after the color
God.
purple. Not after Harpo. Not after
Very,
color purple.
that was like a Burger King combo. I don't like that.
I was not.
I don't like
I was
that.
not including the lady from Women of Bruce Place. Okay,
That was
but think about it.
weird.
Think about the black excellence that Michelle Obama is.
Okay.
Jill Scott, if Jill Scott walked in the building right now, I feel like the building would glow.
Yeah, I mean, because of her energy, but
she's on that list of risk it all.
Okay, but it's like you gave like filet mignon, a piece of fried chicken, and a hamburger.
Who's a piece of fried chicken?
It was just weird.
No, all three of those
it was
are
strange.
All three of them are
It's
filet mignon.
like a hibachi combo.
Yeah, it didn't go together. I ain't like it. It didn't really go
All
together.
three of them
Imperial
are filet
feast.
mignon. I feel like y'all
Oh,
tripping.
God.
I feel like y'all tripping.
I
feel like y'all
mean, I
tripping.
would have put her with, in a different category, but that's just me. But no disrespect to those other women, but that was just a weird combo.
I feel like you taking it personally. Like
I just didn't like it. That's just, that's the woman in me. I didn't like it.
and your facial expression is just the worst. I wish I could see
like
it.
she's just totally
She looks
disgusted.
disgusted.
I am appalled.
She got this
at
look on her
this-
Men's,
this trio.
men's taste is just.
She got this look on her face like I pooted as I said that. Right. Oh, like damn. Like I'm sorry.
Verbal vomit.
I'm just saying.
Where's your manners?
So you said you had a theory about Sanaa Lathan being high on cocaine and biting Beyonce in the
That's
face.
not what I said.
Oh,
I
Wow.
do think it was taken out of context. I don't think it was argumentative. I don't think it was any source of conflict whatsoever. I think she was flirting, and she may have been high.
Hello.
And I think she nibbled on her cheek
Yeah.
just a little too hard.
Yeah.
And yeah, they ran with it.
Yeah.
I think she was flirting.
Flirting
I
with
don't
who?
think it was a conflict.
No.
She was stepping in between
I
her.
agree.
She was stepping in between Sanaa and Jay.
No. I agree. I agree with the voice of reason.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that they were probably, whoever it was, whether it been Sanaa or whomever, they were probably feeling a little too lit. They saw Beyonce and said, "Let me shoot my shot," and it just got a little maybe that nibble was a little too hard.
And she probably got real sensitive
I
skin
thought
and stuff.
Sanaa
It's
Lathan
Beyonce.
liked penis.
I mean, you never
You
know.
still
But
can flirt and be
but you
like
know-
fake bi
So you fake gay out here?
or something. I mean, shut up.
yeah. all right.
Not for real. I just be playing.
Yeah.
But Jay did have a lot of references to Sanaa Lathan's in some of his past songs.
Really?
Yeah, he had a few.
I don't know.
He had a few.
I did hear Beyonce made some sort of comment about Sanaa's face and the scar on her face. So I don't know. The second theory is it was like, hot bitch, now you got one. I don't know. Right. I don't know.
Yo, but Beyonce got
I just like the first
Beyonce
theory
got a
better.
whole shooter in her family
Zombie shit.
by the name
Yeah,
of.
did you see the
Solange.
elevator
Right.
video?
She got a whole shooter there.
I
I'm
just
just
listen.
saying.
She had Tiffany Haddish ready to fight for us. I mean, she'd be all right.
But think about it. If you watched, if a bitch bit Beyonce face in front of you, you would punch them.
Yeah, I would probably, wholeheartedly. I'm beehive.
That's why I don't think it was
wholeheartedly.
like for real.
Damn.
Only person I'm probably gonna throw hands for is probably Killer Mike. That's it.
Beyonce,
But Killer
listen,
Mike bigger than all us.
If somebody
the
back
same
Beyonce
time.
and I'm there, I might have to pop them, and I'm gonna just look at it like, sis, let me get that check.
Yeah.
Right.
Run them bands up. Run
Just
them
saying,
bands.
that's y'all beehive people are just.
Listen, she is
I mean, she-
Queen Bey.
I'ma
Sanaa
tell you-
could have
that.
been like both they side cheek.
Right.
Hello.
It is Hollywood.
Let's talk
So
about it.
they could have been the nibble on the cheek. It just got a little too aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
That's
probably
my
a little-
story. I'm
She
sticking
probably
to
a little
it.
too drunk, maybe on something, and it just got out of hand.
I'm thinking about the Sanaa that was in the car with Diddy. Was it Diddy and French Montana?
Yeah.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
I
and
feel
I can
like
see
Sanaa
her
is secretly
biting.
ratchet.
Yeah, I can see her biting
according
Beyonce's
to,
face.
According to Young Black Hollywood, yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like she's secretly ratchet.
she gets down.
So yeah.
I never mind. I want to kick it with Taraji P Henson one weekend.
I don't know. She
Yeah,
seems
I
like
don't
she
know
might
about
be a
that
little
one.
stern.
Yeah, she's on the down slope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just want to kick it with her.
Now
one
she was
weekend.
still like Vet from Baby Boy, maybe.
No.
I would honestly like if I could hang
That-
out
that'd
with
give- that'd
somebody
give you
in
bad
like
baby
Young
mama
Black
vibes.
Hollywood right now. I would
I
say
like
Tiffany Haddish because I think she would make me laugh the whole freaking night. She just seems just a pleasure and just funny and a good spirit.
Man,
You know who I want to kick it with?
thicker than cold peanut butter too.
Oh God.
Thick.
Cleanse. Cleanse.
Cleanse in the name of Jesus.
Forgot about my cleanse.
Clean
Look
it.
at the curve god over here.
Curve got it.
Yeah, he backslid for a minute.
Right,
He
right.
had a flashback.
having a
Real, I was about to look. I was
back
about to
from
be.
the lights.
I was about to be easy breezy over here. Shit.
You know who I want to kick it with?
Who?
Nick Cannon.
Why?
I feel like I could learn a lot from Nick Cannon.
Yeah, Nick
People
cool
always
kid.
sleep on Nick Cannon. Like, y'all not gonna treat. I saw somebody say that black people treat Bow Wow like Meg on Family Guy. Y'all not gonna do Nick Cannon the same way. Nick Cannon does music, acting, producing, executive producing, all that stuff. Nick Cannon is an everyman.
Okay,
I want to learn from him.
I'm all for him. But
Nigga
stop
boss.
wearing turbans like somebody's grandma. I'm over that, man. That is not your crown. You look
You hating.
stupid.
Nick
He
said
looks
he's dumb.
I
He
could
said,
see. I could see being around him to learn from him, but I don't know about hanging out with him.
no.
Now, another person I
He's
want to
a
hang
little
out with,
corny.
and we're going to change the subject immediately after I say his name, okay, because I don't want to say too much about him. I want to hang out for 36 hours with Jay Prince.
Oh, well,
really?
okay, I can
You already
understand
know.
that.
Yeah.
I can understand.
But I don't want to say nothing else about the Prince family because
Okay.
I don't know them like that.
And you might
they got
get shot.
ears, and yeah.
Oh, yeah. You
Not
know
gonna say
what?
that.
Moving on.
They're a very respectable, upstanding family.
Hey,
Got love for them.
call a spade a spade.
Great.
Y'all
Moving
some
right
thugs.
along. Moving right along. Notice that was Jersey that said that, not us
I
here.
don't give a damn.
Clearly. So Howard University had a former student employee, Tyrone Hankerson Jr., that somehow managed to finesse them out of $429,000 in financial aid so that he could become a bad bitch.
Oh.
He took $429,000 to become an Instagram model. This
So, buddy,
how
worked
that
'cause
commercial
he-
go? How that little commercial go? It's the sweet one.
this motherfucker had a personal videographer. He had I saw the picture of him with a fur. He had the Louis bags, the Gucci bags, all that. Had the brand new slippers.
The Gucci rain boots, okay?
Had the slippers.
You better
and
work,
everything.
bitch.
Out here traveling.
He came to
Yo,
slave.
my favorite picture is the one of him in the slippers
He was snatched.
where he was.
Okay? You couldn't tell him he wasn't fly. You better work. You a bad motherfucker.
With all their money. He got the bag. He got the bag.
All the bags.
Secure the bag.
and fumbled the shit out of it. Just so y'all know.
Okay, so seriously, because if this, I didn't read a whole lot about it. How do you know how he got the money? What was
It's
He's
in
have
the-
they
Okay,
released that?
so-
He had been working in financial aid, and I guess he had just learned throughout the years how to
So
like mishandle
here's the
funds.
thing. Without going into too much detail, he would award financial aid awards to people that they didn't even know about. He would create false applications. And when the funds came in, he would just siphon the funds off and
And he
never
was-
inform them of it.
And he was also stealing people's grant money. Like he was telling
And he
people
was
their
stealing
grants
grants money.
weren't coming through.
Right. Now, the thing is about that, and this is something I don't have proof, so this is an allegation. Okay? Let it be known that I don't know exactly how true or the veracity of this information, but we all know that this has been something that's been going on for generations. Let's be perfectly honest. This has been something that's going on since the beginning of financial aid, not only just at HBCUs, but definitely
Yeah.
at white schools.
You're always going to find a thief.
Definitely, I've seen it at white schools before. But there is a rumor that's been going around for years now that I've heard back in the 90s that's how Puffy got the money to start Bad Boy,
Well, I'm not going to
by
touch that.
finessing the financial aid system, getting extra money and putting that money into the studio time and putting that money into marketing and branding after he got fired from Uptown.
Well, I don't know.
Because he was still a Howard student then, and that's when he started throwing parties and stuff like that. So that's a rumor, and so it just goes to show you. I think about some of the people that I knew in college that never had a job. I knew for a fact they didn't sell dope, but I knew they knew how to finesse certain things, and they always had money in their pocket.
They were prostitutes.
So you know, I'm
This is pre Craigslist booty selling. This is pre Backpage.
Back page hoes.
I was like, we went to school in Tuscaloosa. I know one girl for a fact that drove to Nashville every week to strip.
Okay, so you know I'm super sour about this topic. Yes, I'm bitter about it. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole, but everybody's finessed financial aid office forever. Like that's the gig. I went to college. I didn't have a car. I got one. How? Got a refund check. But the thing, I have a
But you ain't
big
get
problem.
$429,000
No,
worth of refund.
no. He worked there, so he knew. Yeah, there was a lot extra. But the thing I'm getting to is, why is it? I saw a meme one day, and it said something like, at the age of 18, me being allowed to buy alcohol is not a good decision, but I can go $30,000 in debt and it's absolutely fine. The fact that there's no regulations on financial aid and how things work, when you get these student loans, you just sign off on it. Of course, you register for extra classes, you drop a couple, and you get the refund check back. But the thing is, why is there no stipulation? Like, okay, if you didn't need the money, it goes back to your account. It brings the loan balance back down. Like, why are we allowing people to just go in the hole? Like, it's horrible.
Living expenses
But I also think that different institutions are different. Because I know at Smith, at least the years I was there at Johnson C. Smith, you couldn't play that game. If you got a refund check and they found out something later, guess what was going to happen? You owe X amount of money or you not graduating.
Right.
Because it always, by that 4th year, whatever nonsense you did,
caught up with you.
It caught up with you. I thank God for a scholarship. Amen and hallelujah.
I don't know too much about, the whole inner workings of financial aid offices, but I do know of a certain school, and I'm not going to say no names because I don't want people to think that I'm talking shit about their school, because they gonna know exactly what I'm talking about as soon as they listen to this podcast. But you were getting your fall refund check at the beginning of spring semester. You were getting your spring. I know a dude, I kid you not. He told me he graduated 2006, and he still had not gotten his refund check from 2005. And so where did that money go?
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand it.
Somebody
it's
got
a
it.
Game.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if he never got it, and he still got to pay it back, who at the school got that extra 5-10 stacks?
Yeah. The only thing I do feel bad about, back to like the Howard story, is that a lot of those kids have lost their grants and they can't get them back because now these institutions and these different places will not give to that school because of what happened. So I do feel bad about the vast majority of those young students that had grants and things that now have to leave that institution because they can no longer afford it because whoever they were getting grants from will not award them anymore.
Now, who did you blame for this?
Huh?
Who did you blame for this whole debacle? You blame somebody for this.
Know,
who did you blame for this?
Motherfucker Al Sharpton, man. Al Sharpton, Al Sharpton started this whole, number one, when Al started taking these selfies.
Oh, shit.
Now, Al, quote unquote,
Al decided he was going to be the baddest bitch out
here. Al, the black leader, wasn't he?
I'm done with
Al
y'all.
started, showing his hair, showing his curls, taking selfies.
I'm done with y'all.
Now, you know what?
And he said, new legs, who this?
well, since y'all done started the hell train, I guess I'll jump on board.
Choo.
If you gonna blame Al, you gotta include Eddie Long. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
Number one, I can't even say. Look, I can't even say a nigga's name that got long in it. It's just,
I'm trying not to speak ill of the dead, but y'all knew
Eddie did start the selfies in the muscle shirts. Come on, man.
I'm not finna.
Y'all,
Eddie Long was in the mirror talking about looking like a heavenly snack.
Looking like,
see,
looking like, feeling like ambrosia.
I am not joining on the hell train, so I'll be glad to tell all your family members what happened.
I'm just saying, he looking like a heavenly snack.
Oh, God.
Do you remember that picture of Eddie Long? When he had the brand new lace front and him and two other ministers wearing all white, looking like mint condition. I was like, boy.
I was gonna sing a song, but it's highly inappropriate. I'm not.
What's
gonna
that?
say it. Shake that dick. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm back.
she went from not getting on the train to being the train conductor in this motherfucker.
Choo choo.
Everybody sit down. Everybody sit down.
To the driver while the train is in motion. God.
And the voice of reason says, y'all ain't shit.
Oh, God.
So to bring it back to civil rights leaders, yesterday was the 50th anniversary of MLK's assassination.
No.
That was a terrible fucking segue.
Yeah.
Just want to point that out. That was a terrible fucking segue.
You want to start over?
Yes.
Do it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's rewind.
Topic placement is just awful tonight.
So,
You need a refill.
yes. What happened to Elle Varner?
Elle Varner?
I don't know.
She's still around, kind of.
She from Canada, right?
I think. I don't know.
She
I
probably
don't remember.
did. Let's ask Drake.
She can sing.
So on a much more somber and focused and intelligent note, yesterday was if you're listening to this, we're talking about Wednesday, was the 50th anniversary of MLK's assassination. And I don't like to say people. I hate to say the anniversary of his death. No, that was an assassination. It was a murder. It was a terrible, horrible thing, and it just reminded me of how far we haven't come, and how much we haven't overcome in this country. Because, last week I saw an article get posted up from the Daily News that speaks about a Nixon aide that said 47 years ago. Well, no, I'm sorry, not 47 years ago, but Nixon wasn't 47 years ago. But in 1994, in an article where he said, a big part of the domestic policy was that Nixon's war on drugs was really a war on black people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So but we already knew this.
Yeah.
This is something we already knew, and this is something that I'm sure even today, had MLK been allowed to live, he probably would have been fighting. And that's taken us to like the meat and potatoes of really that entire portion there, MLK's legacy, as well as the legacy of disproportionate, unequal treatment of black people in our criminal justice system. Kind of takes us to the meat and potatoes of our show and gets us into the home stretch of the show. There was an article that posted, yesterday, that talks about a man in Virginia who punched a woman after she called him the N-word. He's 27 years old. He's going to serve 10 years for second-degree murder. Now, I'm going to explain the details about this, but before we do that, I want to kind of lighten it up just a little bit. You had a question earlier that I want to come back to. You said, what's the rules on the N-word and ass whoopings these days? What do y'all think the rule is? I want to get a little bit lighthearted before we get into the depths of this. You know what I'm saying? So, how many chances somebody get to call you a nigga before you put them hands to them, Jersey?
I'm really not good with that word. That's immediate reaction. Like I said, I was never called a nigga until my sophomore year in high school, and I beat up the second-ranked wrestler in New Jersey. So it's kind of it's immediate with me. That word is just ugly, and I don't.
I'm trying to stop saying it, but y'all ain't helping.
No, it's a very ugly word, and I do think that we need to refrain. I know everybody used the excuse for years that it's in hip hop and they're singing the songs and so forth, and we made it kind of culturally acceptable. But I'm sorry, when you see older individuals like my father and his generation and how they react to that word, it's such a deeper, uglier meaning, and I'm just not okay with it.
Gotcha.
So with me, it's a little quicker reaction than most.
So you being from Mississippi, please tell me what your view is on said word and how long it is before we see the OG come out of Mississippi.
I don't know. I think I'm a little numb to it, to be honest.
Y'all ain't know. Well, that's because you're from Mississippi. Y'all ain't know Mississippi was a gang member, did you?
Why you telling her?
Oh, you got to tell my business.
Lord Jesus.
I'm just saying.
Ain't nobody told your business.
Snitch. Snitches get stitches.
Snitch like hell.
She gonna whoop my ass after this, just so y'all know.
I'm gonna bite your face.
You
know what?
Creep level on 10. Moving on.
Moving on. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm a little numb to it. The word itself, of course, it takes me to a place that I'd rather not be. But I think it's going to take more than just hearing that word before I actually put hands on you. I think if I was called that today, I would probably escalate the situation to where they would have to do more than that, so I would feel justified in putting my hands on them. It's
I understand.
I can't feel just that one word allowed me to get out of character that bad. So I have to probably talk a little bit more smack and engage the person a little bit more, instigate the situation, and go from there. And then I feel like, it was justified because they started it.
I understand exactly what you mean. I support that.
Curve got it.
It's your boy Curve got it. On some real shit. I mean, this shit like ramen noodles with me. This shit instant. I'm sorry. This how this conversation gonna go. Hey, nigger, stop. That's how it's gonna go. That's just how that's gonna go. Me personally, because I don't walk around throwing racial slurs. You know what I mean?
Hello.
Yeah, we talked about somebody jumping in your inbox,
Right.
popping off like that
Right.
towards you.
Right,
A couple
man.
shows ago.
Right, and at the end of the day, when anybody can, they can thumb thug you all day. But if you are that bold enough to be in my presence, to be in my face, and to just blatantly disrespect me by calling me a nigga, it's no other
I feel like
it's
at
no
that
other
point
recourse
that you
for
have
me.
decided that your work here is done.
Yeah,
And that God's purpose for your life and God's will in your life has been done.
I just hope.
And it is my job to arrange the meeting.
Yeah, I just hope you got an ass. I hope you got an ass bag. You're gonna need an ass bag. Yeah, because I'm gonna knock you on that ass. For real.
So here's my thing. So much like Miss EP, the voice of reason, you grew up in Mississippi. I grew up in Alabama. And the first time I was called that word was I think if I recall correctly, was first grade. I was 6 years old when I was called the N word.
Damn.
And
Yeah, they break you in early. They don't waste no time.
the word boy triggers me
Oh,
way
shit.
faster than the N word does. When you call me the N word, my first inclination, I kid you not, this is what the first thing I will do. I laugh.
I do the same thing. I laugh.
I laugh, and I laugh so hard because I'm like, that's all you got? You couldn't call me spear chucker, blue grums, moon cricket, porch monkey, any of these.
Pickaninny.
Coon, jigaboo, sambo.
Y'all teaching me some stuff.
You couldn't have called me any of the. Moon cricket might quite possibly be my favorite
I've never
racial
heard that one.
slur
I've never heard
ever
that.
in the world. Eggplant, all these things. You could have
I've
called
heard,
me.
yeah.
You could have called me any of these fabulously creative racial slurs, and you went to nigger. And so I'm going to laugh at you and try my hardest to make you feel so inferior that you feel stupid for calling me that. And I'm going to sit there and laugh at you until you feel like you need to put your hands on me. Understand, I'm still from Inslee. I'm still from the West Side, and I'm certified. That's not go how you want it to go. I will never forget. I'll never forget. The last time I had a situation like that happen to me for real, like in my face, like in eyeball distance, was when I was at Alabama, when I was in undergrad, and I was on the quad during a game, and this dude walked up on me and called me boy while barking at me, and of course I didn't move. You walk up on me, you be prepared for the whole thing.
It's just so strange to me. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I grew up in a very diverse area. Growing up as a kid, my best friends were a young Italian lady and a young Asian lady. And so I didn't experience that until we moved to a richer area. And then, like I said, my sophomore year in high school
a weird combo.
is when, but we grew up,
Asian
we were in a blue
Asian and Italian.
Yeah, we grew up in a blue collar town,
Classy.
Nobody was like that.
Birmingham is a very blue collar town, but Birmingham is still the home of Bull Connor, hoses,
Yeah.
dogs,
Yeah.
all that stuff. 16th Street Baptist Church bombing. My mother went to
yeah.
elementary school with, one of those little girls went to school with Addie Mae Collins. One of the victims of that bombing. So, I mean, it's something that we've seen basically ingrained. And so my thing is, I can't tell anybody how to respond to the N-word. And so let's get back to this story, because how this guy responded essentially is what got him charged with second-degree murder. So the whole story was that, he had gone to 7-Eleven with his girlfriend, and it's like he had went in to buy cigarettes. The lady went in to buy alcohol. For some reason, they got into it. The lady left. She comes back in and calls him the N-word and then runs. He chased her.
See, that's where he messed up.
He chased her and threw a punch at her, and when he hit her, it put her in a coma, and she died 10 days later. Now, people, when I posted this to my Facebook, people were, asking me what happened to manslaughter, and I did literally just a little bit of law school, and so I know the difference between the various degrees of murder. Second degree murder is kind of like it's not premeditated. It's one of those things that just kind of happens, you know, in the course of something else.
Where he messed up is he chased her.
Right.
He chased her, and the thing is, you can't claim self defense when you're in hot pursuit.
Exactly.
At that point, you become the aggressor.
Exactly.
Right. So, when I asked this question, you know, what was up with this, and what the deal was, I had a friend chime in who's an attorney. She's a very intelligent young lady. Shout out to her. She said, those facts couldn't support a self-defense charge anyway. We need to know more facts about their respective physical makeup, but words are rarely enough provocation. It's all within the context of the entire situation. I do think second-degree murder was a bit much, but prosecutors usually charge what they think they can prove. But saying the N-word alone generally doesn't constitute legal, reasonable provocation, which is part of the definition of manslaughter. The fact that he chased her and fled, and she fled also didn't help. Second-degree murder is sort of a catch-all for murders on the edge. I also just read that manslaughter in VA is still common law, which means it's defined by prior cases, precedents, as opposed to an actual criminal code or statute. So given that understanding, given that explanation, it makes sense as to why he was charged with second-degree murder and not manslaughter, because he probably would not have been punished had it been manslaughter, especially considering the precedents that have been set. Now, we've got that story, which I think is tragic. I think is messed up, but I don't think any of us are too upset about the way that kind of played out. But then at the same time, you look in Fort Worth, Texas, where a guy who killed 4 people while driving drunk as a teen avoided prison by blaming the fact that the judge said he had affluenza, and he went on the run for a while before actually turning himself in, is now out of jail.
What color is he?
Of course he's white.
Well,
he's white and rich.
Well,
He went to jail for just a little bit of time. He fled to Mexico.
There's no way. Like, this just
Got probation violations, all kind of stuff.
It's already kind of been proven, and that story you just told proves it even further. Listen, the laws are different from some than they are for others. It's unfortunate. It sucks, but this is the stupid country that we live in.
Right.
These are the times. This is Trump's America, ladies and gentlemen.
We live in 2 different Americas from them.
Mm-hmm.
So then let's take the next portion. Let's take the next story that we have here. Stephon Clark shot 8 times. 6 of those were in the back.
Now, can I say something, though? Because I know this story backwards and forwards. I know we all have, because it's been on, every social media site, news. It's sad, but I do have a problem. He shouldn't have ran. Now, okay. I get it. And don't get me wrong, it was excessive. But you knew what you did. You knew what you were doing. He was clearly vandalizing those cars because he was upset or whatever. Don't run. Just don't run. I'm sorry. You're not gonna win that.
Here's the thing.
Get down, lay down, and just don't be a threat.
Okay. Here's the thing. The police narrative was that he was charging at them.
True. Now, but what they showed from that helicopter when they had that infrared or that video to show the body cams,
I get what you're saying.
He was hopping over fences. And my thing is, if they're chasing you at this point, listen, you caught, you live in a neighborhood. Don't get me wrong. I don't agree with what happened. I don't know all the facts of what happened, but my biggest problem with him, which I said we have to stop as a community and think, was that he was vandalizing those cars and he ran. Stop running.
Vandalism would probably have gotten him probation.
Yeah.
A couple of months in jail.
Exactly. And that's why I said he shouldn't. Don't run.
Let me finish.
He shouldn't have ran.
Vandalism gets you a couple months in jail, maybe. Maybe. Running from the police, evading arrest, maybe a year. He got a death sentence for that.
Yeah.
So, fuck due process, fuck the Constitution, fuck all that. Fuck your right to a trial, anything like that. Blackmail, it's dark, imaginary gun with his back turned. You tell the people, you put in your narrative that this kid charged at you, but yet the autopsy itself shows you shot him 6 times in the back.
I understand.
And so the thing is, personally, I don't give a damn if he had just robbed Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. I want him to see a jury of his peers and get the same equal treatment that these crazy ass mass shooters get that go out here killing everybody and somehow they manage to get taken fucking live. I would rather have seen them arrest him and take him to get Burger King and then go to jail like they did Dylan Roof. I know. But the thing is, you shot him in the back.
We live under a different narrative. I'm sorry. And all you young black boys and young black girls know your parents have sat you down at some point and warned you about the police, right? Now, I'm not justifying what they're doing at all. But where I'm saying that we also have to look at is, because we always like to point the finger instead of looking at everything, is that, listen, I don't agree with what they did, and I understand where you're coming from. But we already know we live under a different set of laws and rules. You knew that they were on you. Stop running, because they're taking you as a threat anyway because you're black. I'm going to tell you right now, if somebody's in hot pursuit of me, guess what I'm going to do? I'm done. Right. Hands up.
It depends. Am I on the motorcycle?
Listen, even on that, I ain't playing. Listen, I told you about that time I got stopped in the Mercedes. The first day I had the Mercedes, I opened that joker up on 85. State trooper pulled up behind me. Guess what I did? Pulled over. He came up to the car. He said, "Ma'am," he said, "you know how fast you were going?" I didn't realize it. It's a Mercedes. Joker's kind of smooth. Pickup was nice. He said, "Most people going your speed would have ran." And I said, "Sir, I'm a black woman. I'm not playing with you like that." Right. I said, "Because you ain't giving you no reason to shoot me." So you have to, at some point, accept personal responsibility.
Okay, so what about Philando Castile?
I mean, that those are two separate situations.
What about Jonathan Ferrell?
Yeah, but you're bringing in two separate situations.
Here's what I'm telling you. Here's what I'm saying. I don't care what his crime may have been. I want him to be punished for the crime he committed.
Definitely.
Every single thing that we do appears to be punishable by death when we're dealing with the police.
But you know it is that not you live under a different set of rules. You don't care, but that's the Trump's America that you live in. This is the America that you live in. So as a black man, if I'm your mother and I'm having a conversation with you and I tell you, no, I'm not saying accept it, but what I'm saying to you is, you have to preserve your own life. At some point, something has to say to you, self-preservation, right? So like I said, when that cop said to me, "Ma'am, you should have," most people at your speed would have ran. I'm not running because I know what you're going to do to me.
And I get what you're saying.
I'd rather not have that call placed to my parents. So at some point, you also have to accept some personal responsibility that we understand where we're living at, and it's not fair. He accepted the ultimate responsibility,
and that was death. Well, that's what I'm trying to get you to understand here.
I understand it.
But accepting responsibility for your actions means going to court, going to trial, facing the judge, facing the jury, facing your punishment.
Yeah.
Being killed for that is not accepting responsibility. That is a heavy-handed response to a very small crime, and I don't care. Like, now, had he killed like 3 people, shoot the shit out of his black ass. Like, stop that nigga for real. Yeah, but the thing is, he vandalized cars. Do you know how many teenagers vandalize cars in these white neighborhoods and don't get shot in the back?
But you're black and they're white, and you know that the rules are different.
And so
we can
I should accept that.
No, I'm not saying accept it, but we can keep trying to debate it.
But that's what you're telling me to do.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying to you is keep yourself alive. That's what I'm saying. You already know that they're not liking you, that you're a man of color, so you're already viewed a certain type of way. I would tell, if I had children or any of my little cousins or anybody in my family, you don't run. If they're on you and you're caught, get down, lay down, and don't be a threat, so that your life is then preserved. It's self-preservation at some point.
So you're saying self-preservation from running, as if that's the common narrative, though. That's not the common narrative for most of these shootings.
It's not, but you have to understand something, brother. Like, I'm sorry. You got to understand something. I don't agree with all these shootings. I understand what has happened in most of these shootings. But in this particular one, I think it might have been avoided if he would have just stopped. And I'm not saying what they did was right, and I don't want anybody to think I'm saying that. But if he would have stopped running, they're in high pursuit of you. You done hopped over fences, they right on you. It's time to stop. I'm sorry. If I was his mother and I was outside, I would have told him, lay down on the ground.
And they probably still would have
shot him. Lay down. You don't know that, though.
Okay,
you don't
check
know
this
that.
out. Check this out. Okay, there's another situation where an officer just got off. He said on video, "I'm going to shoot this guy. I'm going to fucking kill this guy." That's what he said.
I got you.
Okay?
This is
Shot
unfair.
him. Guy had nothing. Guy had no firearm. They could never find the firearm they said he had. So whether we run, whether we stay, I'm talking about the big picture. You're talking about not running? Okay, cool. Don't run. got you. You don't run, you still get shot. You ask for help, you get shot. You get frustrated at a traffic stop, you get shot. You do what they tell you to do, you get shot. You don't like the way the police officer talking to you, you get shot.
Yeah.
As of today in New York, you're holding a fucking shower head, you get shot.
Well. Hold on. New York, though, it did. I'm sorry, we all saw those pictures. That did look like he had a handgun. That did look like he had a handgun.
And I saw the video, and the thing is, on top of that, that goes to a whole other conversation about gentrification.
Yeah.
Because think about it, all the people in the neighborhood that's from the neighborhood was
Everybody
like,
knew him.
oh, he's crazy ass. Everybody, crazy ass Harold.
I just had a conversation with someone the other day about community policing and how, back in the day you had this officer so-and-so, this officer so-and-so, and they knew, oh, that's Mary Jane, that's Susan May grandson. He ain't gonna bother nobody. Or if someone didn't know something about somebody and they called the police and they got there, they knew how to talk to you and kind of just diffuse the situation. But now that's not the case. Like being a police officer became more of a job.
It's the militarization of the police force.
Yeah.
Like, what scares me the most is that we've had this conversation before. I'm a big firearms enthusiast. And I look at all these, gun places, and I go to these gun shows and stuff like that. And I look at these people who talk about the thin blue line and have, the Blue Lives Matter stuff. And a lot of these police officers have patches on their vests, and they modified their personal firearms to have the Punisher symbol on it. Y'all know who the Punisher was? Mm-hmm. He was a vigilante that went out killing people because he felt like he had been wronged. That's the symbol that you want to take on. You feel as though death is your option. That's who you look up to. Yeah. Come on, dog. That's not the police. That's not who I'm paying to protect and serve me.
Well, there's two different agendas. We know what the agenda of what a police officer should be, but then you have people who become a police officer and have a totally different agenda. It's a power trip.
Right.
But the other thing is, I get what Jersey's saying about, you already know there's a target on your back. Bingo. So just try to do as much as you can to not add on to it.
Yes.
Doesn't mean it's going to save you, but you have to try to, CYA as much as possible.
I've been saying time and again, and this is something that it's not going to happen. It's not going to actually make sense until it's in your face. Respectability is not going to save you.
No, it doesn't. I agree.
Totally agree. Ask Henry Louis Gates, who got pretty much told by that police officer that he was not at his own damn house. And had he not been personal friends with President Obama, he just would have been another old nigga that got treated bad by the police. Yeah. And I'm using that word for a reason. That's how they saw him, as an old nigga. This is the premier black intellectual historian pretty much in history. And he got treated like an old nigga that was robbing a house. Respectability does not save you.
No.
And I reject the narrative. I reject the idea that I need to start acting more of a certain way to not be shot, rather than say, hey, this is fucked up and this needs to change. Because the thing is, if I act, I put like this. Every time I get pulled over, and I've been pulled over quite a bit in my life. I had a white guy when I used to drive for Uber. I had a white guy from San Francisco get in my car, and we got to talking. And he said, "How many times have you been pulled over?" I said, "Honestly." He said, "Yeah, honestly." I said, "Man, I can't tell you." He said, "Has it been over 20?" Absolutely. I've been pulled over well over 20 times. I would say probably about half of those times I got an officer who I felt, probably was, in the best interest. He probably was doing his job.
Right.
The other half of those times, it was some asshole that didn't appreciate the fact that I was a young black man in a nice car, or a young black man on a nice motorcycle, or a young black man in a neighborhood where I didn't fit in. The car that I have now, you told me when I bought the car. How did you feel? You can say it.
I was a little uneasy about it.
And leaving your house one night, what happened?
You got pulled over.
And I had you on speakerphone, right? And since the week after I bought that car, I got pulled over 2.5 times.
For no valid reason.
For no valid reason. The third time I said they pulled me over, the dude pulled me over. The reason I called that a halftime was because the dude was like, oh, wait, got another more important call. Take your license back. Bye. And so the thing is, like, I've been pulled over at this point in my life probably close to the 30 times.
The one time I was on the phone and the officer told you there had been a lot of crime in the area and some break-ins, but the type of but the vehicle you were in doesn't indicate that you would be out doing.
Yeah.
Number
breaking
one.
it.
Yeah, break it.
Number
Yeah,
two,
Right. If I was in a Caprice,
I can't steal
on
mount.
22s, you know.
Do you know how hard? Okay, so my vehicle is push button start. So it has to be a radio frequency that gets transmitted to the ECU for it to even start. Do you know how hard it is to steal that kind of car?
Not really, but I got you. But yeah.
If I don't have that fob within a certain, like even when I'm in the car, sometimes it won't start unless I manually insert it into the area for that.
I'm from New Jersey, which is like the car theft capital. I'm sorry.
It's ways to do it.
It's a lot of ways to do it because it's happened.
It's ways to do it.
They're stealing S-Class Mercedes Benzes, which is supposed to be the non-theft car. That's a lie. There's a way to steal anything that you want to steal.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but I was just correcting you. Go ahead.
It's very difficult to do so. Thank you, Jersey. Appreciate it. Just fuck my whole story up. Chad, you lying.
They gonna take your shit.
You lying.
You can steal it.
He should have pulled your black ass over. Shouldn't have been leaving the house so late. Go in and get some strength.
I saw it. Go ahead.
But think about it. That area. So let's think about the area you live in too. It's overwhelmingly Caucasian, not predominantly Caucasian. Overwhelmingly Caucasian, fairly affluent, somewhat suburban. I would say suburban, very suburban. And you got me in a baseball cap, some sweatpants, and a T-shirt, walking out to the car. And I knew when I drove by him, because I was on the phone with you when I drove by him, I said, he's going to pull me over. Because as soon as I drove by him from inside the apartment complex, he was sitting inside the apartment complex in his car.
So that's the other thing. So if the officer is sitting in the apartment complex, you're leaving out of the apartment, not driving down the street. You're leaving out of the apartment complex. What about that says, yeah, I just came into
He
his
stole that
apartment.
shit.
Yeah, he stole this. I mean, let me pull him over. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, you probably got profile.
And so my thing is, I reject the narrative that I put it like this: it doesn't matter how much education I get, it doesn't matter how well I speak. I can put on my bill collector voice. Hey, how are you, Bob? It's great to see you, man. What are you doing this weekend? You want to go to the range, hit some balls, man? Let's do it. Let's go to Top Golf. Come on. You know, I can do all that. I can play the game. I can tap dance. I can do all that. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm still going to be seen as this. There's no difference between how they view me, educated, articulate, intelligent knowledge, and how they view that boy running and jumping the fences. I cannot separate myself from him. That is not the narrative that they have. So do I think he should be excused for whatever crime he committed? Hell no. Ain't a black person on the planet that should have been like, oh, man, nah, they should have never even charged him with vandalizing them cars. What I do believe is that the punishment should fit the crime, and that punishment is not always death.
No, I agree with you. But like we both said, as two young black women, you have to understand that you are living in a very unfair circumstance.
We
and
know
you've
this
known
better than anybody.
You've known this for a long time.
Right.
So you need to, self-preservation is the key. At the end of the day, no matter what transpires, self-preservation is the key. And if God ever blessed me with a son, I would be damn sure to let him know what I expect of him. And one of those things is to not to run.
Well, I'm going to
because
tell
you're
y'all
just
like
making
this.
it worse.
God forbid anything should ever happen to me, but y'all better burn this motherfucker down if it do. Anyway.
I ain't burning shit. Cause I'm still a little hot. I'm still a little hot about this shit right here. You said you would fight for Killer Mike. You didn't even say me.
You know,
You didn't even say me.
he been over there quiet.
Yeah, I've been over here steaming about this shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, we was talking about rappers, entertainers.
We weren't talking about
We was
that.
talking about
Yeah.
entertainers.
I entertain. I mean, hold on.
It's your boy.
Curve got it. I'm just saying, I'm like, I at least thought he was gonna say, you know
really
what?
over there
I ain't,
feeling.
yeah, I was hurt a little bit.
Son
Talking
of a
about
bitch.
That's why I was
celebrities.
Over there thinking
That's
hard
what
as
he was like,
hell.
no, he
Son of a
said
bitch.
if I fought for anybody,
Yeah, it'd be Killer
It'd be
Mike.
Killer-
Come on,
That-
dog.
I mean,
We talking about
I'm right here,
celebrities.
partner.
Got your right hand man
Partner.
with you.
I'm talking
Talking about
player-
celebrities.
Nah.
Player partner.
Nah.
So if me and Killer Mike got in a fight with each other,
He gonna
I'm fucking
you
Killer
go-
up.
he lying. Look at him, he lying. He lying like shit. He lying.
Look, don't come on here acting all light skinned. Don't come on here acting all light skinned, Jersey.
I'm like, damn.
Oh my God.
We're not gonna have all them light skinned ass jokes over here,
I've been
Jersey.
sitting up here trying to get through this motherfucking rat maze about this shit. I'm like, kill him.
Hey man,
Go ahead, call
do
him out.
not let the
Call
girl
him
with the
out.
Assassin's Creed hoodie come in between her. She like she about to jump off a building, smooth into a pile of hay right now. Swear to God.
Don't be mad because I'm fashionable.
Hey, but the piggyback on
Yo,
what?
I just noticed you got the brat curls.
No.
That's
No,
not
no,
what
no.
you- that's
No,
not
no,
what
no,
you
no,
gonna
no,
call
no. That's
those.
not what we gonna do. That's
You're
not what
not
we gonna
gonna
do.
call
Thank
those
you.
the
Thank
brat.
you.
Don't she be having her hair like that,
We not in the same
What
category.
those called?
This is called the soft curl, and your sister has crochet. I ain't got nothing. That's the brat. I ain't compared to the brat, and we gonna keep that separate. All right.
But the
brat fine, though.
piggyback on what you and Jersey was talking about.
brat
I
fine,
mean,
though.
it's valid points. It's valid points
Still
on
fine,
both
though.
ends, you know. And like you said, knowledge, you know what I mean. It's nothing that we should have to sit down and take. Because at the end of the day, like you say, the punishment should fit the crime. But then again, like Jersey is saying, if you already know that you are the hunted, if you already know you the white rabbit, and you already know they can't wait to pull the gun, they can't wait to pull the trigger. I mean, they just want a reason.
Thank you, baby.
Our best bet is to not agitate the situation, to give them a reason, even though they might pull the trigger without provocation.
Yeah.
But 9 times, I mean, I ain't gonna say 9 times out of 10 because you can't really put a number on it. But if you already know you're wrong in a situation and the situation can go
left.
0 to 10,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and try to keep it at 0.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You know,
Try to
'cause
de-escalate it.
Yeah, I've been in those situations before, you know, and I knew I was in the right. And I wanted to pop more shit than a motherfucker. I did. I wanted to raise hell, talk shit, and get badge numbers. And I had to think about it. My name ain't Chip.
Yeah. Hello.
My name. So let me go ahead and look. Let me go ahead and take note of these officers. Make sure I got their name on this citation, and then take then take my complaint through the channels that need to be necessarily done through. Versus me talking shit, raising hell, being the person that I wanted to be because it could have agitated the situation. And now you have a volatile, hostile young man at a traffic stop.
There you go.
Now you want to pull me out the car. Now, you know what I mean? I'm in handcuffs with motherfucker with a pistol to my head.
Go
you know
ahead,
what I mean?
brother.
So,
Yeah,
you
'cause
know,
you-
I mean,
But let
it's
me ask
valid
y'all a
points.
question. Let me ask y'all a question. Did y'all watch the video?
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
I
course.
did.
Okay, so you watched the video. Let me ask you a question.
I said
So
I'm not watching
what
any more
was
videos.
what was he doing when he was shot 6 times in the back?
Running.
No. When they opened fire, what was he doing?
Maybe I didn't see that part.
When they opened fire, he was no longer running. So so we say stop running. Okay, so he stopped. They came up behind him, opened fire, and then all of a sudden the audio goes out.
Look.
Man, you got trigger happy cops,
This
man.
ninja like to just argue.
Well, no, I don't. Here's what I'm saying. But here's what I'm saying. I'm talking about this specific issue. So I get it. Everybody's like, don't run, stop running. You know, okay, so think about it. If I decide to stop running and I turn myself in, right, and I still get shot in the back.
I mean, it's
This is
sort of
what
like,
happened.
I mean, this is how I look at it. I mean, you know, if you have a trigger happy cop, adrenaline running, it's sort of like you have a boxer in the boxing ring. You know what I mean? They're trained. I mean, I ain't gonna say they're trained, but their first notion is to punch, 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 punch. Now they might hit a bell,
Yeah.
and referee says stop, but they still might be in their mind. You know what I mean? Their actions might be to shoot, which is the agenda of some of these cops out here.
Yeah.
Okay,
So you know,
let's take it
it's
one
not-
step
There's
further.
no right and no wrong in the arguments being at place.
Right.
But
We're saying just
So,
de-escalate the
let me ask you a question.
situation.
You have to-
You
that's
didn't
it. You
already
have to-
ran from them. Get down on the ground. Toss whatever's in your hand because you already know they can view it as whatever. Because that's what I would do. I'm putting my hands behind my head and I'm interlocking my hands. So you have no reason to shoot me at this point.
So let me ask you a
if you
question.
shoot me, then you in the wrong.
I'm gonna ask y'all this question, and then we're gonna close out because I can never get anybody to answer this question. And I asked this question way before it became a Facebook meme. I said, we send 18, 19, 20-year-old kids to Iraq and Afghanistan, to countries where 90% of the country wants to kill them. And we expect them to follow rules of engagement that I also had to, be familiar with, that says you do not fire unless fired upon or unless you're threatened with a weapon. And if you need to use other means by which to take down or procure a subject, you use those means first. And if they do not do that, Oh, you gonna be standing in front of somebody with either stars or a bird on their chest.
You gonna be standing in front of that bird.
You gonna be standing there, and you are gonna have to deal with that, and you gonna have to deal with that for the rest of your life. So you mean to tell me that we can't train some of these officers to not be trigger happy and to not use lethal force as the first thing? Why are the rules of engagement for war better than the rules of engagement for our own police force here in the country? That makes me believe that the police believe that they're at war with us as citizens.
I'll be honest, I personally believe that, and this is just going on like another topic, I personally believe that we don't really need guns. There's a whole lot of other things you can have to put people down. And I mean, and that's going to engage on it. Hold on. That's going to engage on another conversation. But there are a lot of other countries where the police don't have guns. They just have things like batons or stun guns or other things to put people down. I just think that we're just a trigger happy country, and unfortunately, you reap what you sow. Specifically
with the police, here's what I've said. Why the fuck does a police department need a tank? Why does the police department need an MRAP, a mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicle? Ain't nobody putting IEDs up under your cars. What nailed me, what made me think back to this, and we got to close out because we almost out of time, but what made me think about this was when I looked at Ferguson.
I'm cleansing.
I looked at Ferguson. I was fresh back from Afghanistan, and I'm looking at Ferguson, and I see an officer perched on top of an MRAP, a mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicle, wearing the same camo that they send our troops to Afghanistan with, the OCP camo. I said, damn, you know what I just realized? They view us as insurgents.
Pretty much,
man. Bro, we saw that when we was at Bike Week.
Right.
When the damn South Carolina police was in full freaking camo gear with damn M16s and shit. Like, what do you need that for, man? We in Bike Week. Ain't nobody trying to do nothing to y'all.
And you had to give
me full body armor.
You had to get me out that restaurant.
Yeah. I was like, yo, let's go. Like,
I was talking cash shit.
Yeah, ain't got time for this. They out here in full body armor.
Just had to get me out the restaurant. I was talking cash shit to the police.
Listen. When you pull up to a traffic stop, right, and a cop has on a face mask that's body armor, right, full-fledged body armor and M16s and ARs on them and shotguns, I told him, I said, I don't never want to be here again because they're clearly letting you know that they don't want you here in the first place.
Right. I mean,
that was a statement.
I was talking shit to the police in that restaurant. We was like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and it's a ton of damn police at a damn table and he want to talk junk. Man, come on, get your little narrow ass and come the fuck on. Nobody playing with you, man. What the fuck is wrong with you, bruh?
Oh, God, I was
so mad at him. Like, see, that's what I'm talking about. There's just certain situations you ain't gonna win. Right?
So, with that being said, let's close out with something sad yet positive. Very tragic situation. Well, not necessarily tragic. Winnie Mandela, wife of the great Nelson Mandela, and she was great in her own right. She's transitioned to the other side. And in the spirit of Winnie, I encourage all of us to continue to fight and continue to resist and continue to be better, continue to be greater. I encourage everybody to do what my t-shirt says, embody your dream. Shout out to Rocky down there in Birmingham doing a thing with the music. We're going to close out with a little bit of her music tonight. So y'all make sure y'all go check out Rocky. But any final words from anybody here, man? I know y'all got stuff to say, man. So let's start with Miss EP. What you got to say?
I don't have anything tonight. Nothing that wouldn't take us down a whole nother rabbit hole. So no, I don't.
I'm gonna hear about this later.
You done fucked up at home or something, nigga, but you better get it right.
I'm not gonna go down the rabbit hole about it. But my whole thing about police, I really feel like I get that they're saying it's more of a local issue. It's not gonna be a federal issue. But where do we start? Like, who can do the research? Who can push the agenda I know you can't make it all black and white because every situation is different. So you can't say, hey, you can't, fire your weapon more than 4 times. Like, that's impossible to say, based off the situation. But I understand the logic behind shoot to stop, but not shoot to kill. Like, you can't, there's no reason you should.
Let me explain that. There's no such thing as shoot to wound. I'll tell you why. Because your limbs
No, I understand that part, but I'm saying that there is the logic. You're supposed to stop the threat, right?
You want to know what? You had a great
You can
point.
only stop the threat by literally
But you don't have to
shooting
empty your
mass.
entire
clipping them.
clip.
But you know what? You had
Sorry,
a,
I
you
said
had a,
clip.
You had a great
Man,
point
sorry.
earlier when you said neighborhood policing. The first
Right.
problem is that when you apply to be a police officer, they don't let you police in your own community. They send you
Right.
to another community, and I think that's wrong.
Yeah,
so I
that's
think you were
wrong.
definitely right
That's
earlier
wrong.
when you said it needs to be neighborhood policing because you need to know these people
You
and
need
know
to
their
know people.
families.
Yeah, I mean
So, yeah.
that's my thing. Like how I don't understand why there's a need. You can shoot me twice, and I'm probably not gonna keep coming at you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you're also not on meth or crack.
No, I
or
understand. That's what I'm
cocaine.
saying. I understand some situations are
saying.
different, and so it's gonna vary. So you can't put it in
You
black and
a
white.
crackhead get shot. Jesus.
Yeah, they kinda
Them
pumped them on
motherfuckers
the-
do not stop coming.
They don't do,
Father,
man,
Father.
they don't do nothing but start dancing.
I mean, really. And then honestly, like, okay, if you had a community police officer, he would actually trick the crackhead and be like, "Hey, I got something for you."
Look
Crackhead
here.
gonna come over there, put him in handcuffs. That's it. You ain't gotta kill him.
Yeah, you know that's one of the
You ever thought of crackhead?
Hey,
No,
hey,
no,
wrap
but
this-
you wait a
wrap
minute.
this shit up.
You know what? I will compare. This is wrong, but I always say kids when it's like bedtime and they have their last burst of energy is the equivalent to a crackhead because the adrenaline level
The crackheads be
is
doing,
on like 10.
They last burst of energy lasts for 3 days though. Like,
That's a kid that's past their bedtime. It's the same thing.
but you can knock
I'm
your
telling
kids
you.
out and put them to bed.
No, you can't. When they're on that high, you
gotta
can
let
give
it
them a
rock.
whole whooping,
Yeah.
and they'll be like,
No, you gotta-
keep going.
That's when you get them a whole That's when you get them a whole melatonin.
Like, what's wrong with you?
Okay, Jersey. Final thoughts.
I'm
final
gonna be
thoughts.
positive. I'm gonna say keep God first, live in the light, and I pray everybody has a good rest of the week.
It's your boy Curve got it. I just want to look. All thing I want to say, man, you know, this is my motto for the second quarter, 2018. Curving and cleansing. That's what we
Okay,
doing.
curving
And cleansing. You know what I mean? For real though. I mean, everybody. I'm just saying, man. I feel so rejuvenated. I really do. You know what I mean? Because I actually made it through this episode, and I did not partake upon the turn up of
Of the
did.
vagina.
of
Of that kitty cat.
right.
Yeah.
So you know, I made it, but you know what I mean. I'm not going to encourage everybody to do a 30-day because I think I might have bit off a little bit more than I could chew. But I'm gonna make it. I'm
proud
it.
of you.
But
There
you
you
know,
go.
I'm gonna make it. But you know, let's try a little 7-day. You know what I mean? A little
Okay.
10-day.
Mind
you know,
over matter.
That's all it is.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
You know, so I just encourage everybody, you know, just to go ahead and let your body rejuvenate itself.
Yeah,
You know what
I'm
I
having
mean?
a cleansing of fuckboys, so
Hey.
you know.
I ain't cleansing shit with my colon.
Cleansing and curving. Oh, 2018.
I'll piggyback real quick off of Natty's, last little thoughts here. Fellas, know your worth.
You gotta know your
2018.
worth.
We tell the women know their worth.
Yeah.
Fellas, know your worth.
Know your worth.
You can curve them.
You can't
You can
be-
let some get past you.
You ain't
can't
gotta be a hoe.
Right, you ain't got to be easy
Ninja.
weenie out here.
Right.
Know your worth, fellas.
feel it.
Shake that
real.
dick, boy. Oh, I'm sorry. Moving on.
That's it for us here at the Conductor Podcast. Fucking with y'all, we gonna get canceled and not be back next week. Put your damn headphones back on. We ain't
Hey,
finished.
You gotta tell them where to find us at, Knowledge. You gotta tell them where they can
You
find
can
us.
find
at.
us on.
I'm back.
God damn it, you know
You
where to
can
find
find
us.
me
You been
on the
listening.
interstate. Sorry.
I ain't bringing no more alcohol up in this damn
This
studio.
is a good thing, but
He swerved.
all right.
Why you sound like the town drunk right
I mean,
now?
I had to play into it for a minute.
We gonna close out. Shout out to
good
Rocky.
right, yeah.
Shout out to Rocky. Y'all can check her out on iTunes, Apple Music, anywhere your dope stuff is sold, heard, listened to, all that stuff. Actually, we're gonna play this off of her YouTube channel. This is a single that she has a new single out right now that goes hard in the club. But this single right here is one that I know y'all gonna feel. It's from a couple months ago. It's called Mental, and this joint goes hard. Like I really dig this whole thing. So, like Jersey said, peace, love, and blessings. And yeah, y'all stay black. We'll catch y'all next week.
Shake
All right.
that dick. Moving on.
We out.
Peace.
Just want you to feel me vibing on repeat. Your mental sedated, it's all into me. I don't wanna know about your ex-love. I'm just tryna be the next you love. You can hold me up like a little girl. Penetrate my mind, be a good drug. Stick me all the time, don't meet up. Bada bing, bada bow, got fever. Head all in receiver. But you outside the no ringer. And we can get real loud, both speakers. Me loud and clear when I speak up. That's why it's two-seater. See the world and all of its people. Feel my life, but there's no sequel. No in what I speak up. Good thing you all I see. Good thing you all I see. What? Baby, let me know what's up. We can do whatever, love, as long as I can keep your trust. What? Baby, let me know what's up. We can do whatever, love, as long as I can keep your trust. Just want you to feel me vibing on repeat. Your mental sedated, it's all into me. Feet up, head back, rubbing on my temples, body on relax. Work, strong, verbally climax. Spread it out my mental, deep inside, brainiac. I can feel your head in this, unlocking my fist, feeling it. Taste of your own medicine, blood flow, adrenaline. Got me going dizzy. Mentally, you get the business. Be quite dumb if I didn't feel it. Cancel all your other friends. What? Baby, let me know what's up. We can do whatever, love, as long as I can keep your trust. What? Baby, let me know what's up. We can do whatever, love, as long as I can keep your trust. Just want you to feel me vibing on repeat. Your mental sedated, it's all into me. What? Baby, let me know what's up. We can do whatever, love, as long as I can keep your trust. What? Baby, let me know what's up. We can do whatever, love, as long as I can keep your trust. Just want you to feel me vibing on